Shalom. Shalom and welcome. Welcome to the channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. This series, Letter and Spirit, is centered around the importance of seeking to discern the life in the scriptures, the life in the text. Otherwise, my brothers and sisters, we will understand what 2 Corinthians 3:4-6 mean when it says the letter kills, but the spirit makes alive. In this segment of Letter and Spirit, I want to emphasize the subject matter of beware of actors. Beware of actors. Yahusha, my brothers and sisters, if you take this walk serious, how do you feel about individuals who, if your eyes are open to see and you discover that they're merely acting the part, they're dressing the part, they're acting like they're spiritual leaders or influencers, teachers, mores, and bishops, how would you feel if you discovered they were actors and did not take this serious? Well, there's a way to discover that. And I believe that the Almighty Father will indeed open our eyes for us to see who are the actors and who are those who take this walk serious. Let's unpack this subject matter, and I ask your patience. Beware of actors, individuals who portray something for attention or mere entertainment. They are among us, Yahusha, and in the days ahead, they will be exposed, and we will have decisions that we have to make. Do we remain an audience for the actors, or do we come away from them? Or do we purge them from among our groups? I submit to you that in these end times, my brothers and sisters, it is important to know why we should beware of actors. Reflect on the next words that I'm about to say. Why we should be aware of actors. Come with me to Matthew 24th chapter, verses 4-6. Matthew 24:4-6 says, And Yahusha answered said to them, Take heed that no one leads you astray. Can an actor do that? Sure. Will they do that? Yes. Are they doing that? Yes. For some. It says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. This not only speak on individuals who say that they are the Messiah, but this also speak to those who say the Messiah told them, the Almighty Father told them, Yah told them. So many people are saying, oh yeah, the Most High told me this, and the Most High told me that, and be lying. How do I know when some are lying? When they contradict the living scriptures, scriptures that are made alive, and they forge contradictions. I'll give you a good example. Recently, I saw a title where someone was saying it was an angel that led Yahusha out of Egypt, when clearly the scriptures, when made alive, referred to the Almighty Father speaking to Moses or Musha on the mountain and said, I will lead you. I will use you to lead my people out of bondage. If the Almighty Father is talking about using Musha to lead Yahusha, along with Aaron, to lead Yahusha out of Egypt, how then could it have been an angel leading him out? That's a contradiction, but yet this came from someone who constantly says often, the Most High revealed to me, and he showed me this and that. Beware of such. You can hang on to them, but trust me, discipline comes for that person and those who hang on to them. It goes on to say, and you shall begin to hear of fighting and reports of fighting. See that you are not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet. Actors caused unnecessary disruptions. They mislead people. They lead people astray. Let me continue. My brothers and sisters, verses 7 through 9. I'm in the 24th chapter of Matthew, and I'm reading from Esword. Version 11. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food, and deadly diseases, and earthquakes in places. And all these are the beginning of birth pains. Then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake." Conditions such as these, my brothers and sisters, can we afford to be led by actors, seduced by actors, misled by wolves in sheep clothing? No, Yahusha. My brother, my sister, it goes on to say in the 10th and 11th verse, "And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray." This is why we need to be mindful and beware of actors. He goes on in the 11th and the 13th verse, "And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved." Actors don't care. They're doing it for attention, not for love. My brothers and sisters, given what I just read, is there a need to be aware of actors? We must be on guard and alert, lest we fall. When we fall, we may be responsible for others stumbling who follow us, unaware that they are following us. You see, so this warning of beware of actors not only goes to the individual who may be seduced by the actor, but those who are following that person that was seduced. Take a look at precautions to take so that we can minimize being misled by actors. Let it be known, actors are those among us who are merely demonstrating their prowess as in their perceived skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. I bring up this passage in Philippians often, my brothers and sisters, and I want to read it again, Philippians 1, 9 through 11. Philippians 1, 9 through 11. It is something that we should take to heart on a daily basis, on a moment-by-moment basis. It reads, "And this I pray you, that your love might extend more and more in knowledge and all discernment." And I want to pause for a minute. For discernment is when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals and makes known, when he uncovers. Yes, mankind have their definition of discernment, but this discernment is the discernment when the Spirit of Yahusha uncovers and reveals. It says, "For you to examine the matters that differ in order to be sincere and not stumble into the day of Messiah, being filled with the fruit of righteousness through Yahushua Messiah, to the esteem and praise of the Almighty One." Examine. How do we examine, my brothers and sisters? We pray. We seek to discern and understand. We ask questions. We weigh those answers against the scriptures and pray for those answers to be made alive. Be advised, actors often get their training by what they see or hear. There are also individuals who attempt to copy or mimic what they envision from the scriptures, books, pictures, and other types of print. You see, some people will look at actors and like what they're doing, like their behavior, and want to be like them. Sometimes people, if they're around a certain person long enough, they'll begin to act like them, be like them, unaware that those behaviors are contrary to scriptures. Social media and the internet have brought us many different influences And I say to you, my brothers and sisters, what influence reflect that of an actor? It would be wise to know and understand that we have an inward man and an outward man. Let us tour some scriptures on these components of our being. For it is necessary for us to begin to understand what we face, what we are stepping into in these end times. Consider 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 16 and 17. It says, therefore we do not lose heart, but even if our outward man is perishing, the inward man is being renewed day by day. For this slight momentary pressure is working for us a far more exceeding and everlasting weight of esteem. Notice it talks about the outward man and the inward man. Goes on in the 18th verse. We are not looking on what is seen, but what is not seen. For what is seen passes away, but what is not seen is everlasting. It takes sincere studying and praying to discern what must be done. Know this, we will discover how in Abba Yahuwah's discipline, we will discover what is everlasting, what's alive. There will be judges that will rise up. There will be times we will judge as the Spirit lead us. We will discover what is necessary to avoid, to come away, to manage those who are acting, mere actors. Let us take a moment and ask ourselves, what does the inward man resemble? How do we identify the inward man versus the outward man? Come with me, my brothers and sisters. Let's get into this. Let's unpack it. I want to share something from Paul. Some may know him as Shalum. Romans 7th chapter. We'll start with the 11th verse to the 13th verse and continue from there. Shalum says, for sin, having taken the occasion through the command, deceived me. Through it killed me, so that the Torah truly is set apart, and the command set apart, and righteousness and good. Therefore has that which is good become death to me. Let it not be. But the sin, that sin might be manifest, was working death in me through what is good, so that sin through the command might become an exceedingly great sinner. Paul's talking about a battle within his inward man versus his outer man. And I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, that outer man is our brain, is our flesh. That outer man is what can be conditioned, programmed, psychologically and mentally. The inward man is our spirit being led by the Almighty Father Yahuah, which comes in Yahusha's name, or our spirit being influenced by the wicked one, if we so let it. He goes on, so, for we know that the Torah is spiritual, but I am fleshly, sold unto sin. For what I work, I know not. For what I wish, that I do not practice. But what I hate, that I do. But if I do not what I do not wish, I agree with the Torah that it is good. Torah means instructions, my brothers and sisters. What instructions is he talking about when he say that he's doing wrong and is good? That's not good instruction. Stay with me, my brothers and sisters. There's more. He goes on to say, and now it is no longer I that work it, but the sin dwelling in me. He's talking about that brain, that condition, when he's doing the things outside of set apart instruction. He goes on to say, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, see, he letting you know that brain, dwells no good. For to wish is present with me, but to work the good I do not find. See, the scriptures tell us how the flesh war against the spirit. He goes on to say, for the good that I wish to do, I do not do, but the evil I do not wish to do, this I practice. Stay with me. He's talking about a battle within. And he goes on to say, and if I do that which I do not wish, it is no longer I who work it, but the sin dwelling in me. I find therefore this law, that when I wish to do good, that the evil is present with me. That's the brain, how we've been mentally conditioned, psychologically programmed. But he goes on to say, for I delight in the Torah of the Almighty One. See, letting you know there's Torah, the instruction of the Almighty One. So when people see Torah, everybody think Torah, oh, that's the Almighty One. No, Torah of the Almighty One is saying instructions from the Almighty One. So he say, I delight in the Torah of the Almighty One according to the inward man. His spirit delights in it. And in this battle, he grow to learn how to manage his behavior, his actions. He goes on to say, but I see another Torah in my members. See, he say another Torah, battling against the Torah of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the Torah of sin, which is in my members. Wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death? Thanks to the Almighty One through Yahusha Messiah, our Master. So then, with the mind, I myself truly serve the Torah of the Almighty One, but with the flesh, the Torah of sin. This mind he's talking about is his spirit, his inward man. And the Esau says Elohim. So when I see that, I say Almighty One, because Elohim is plural for multiple Almighty Ones. Stay with me, my brothers and sisters. We have a battle within us. And when we in fellowship, our flesh, my flesh, your flesh, individual's flesh is warring against the spirit. And our inward man wars against the flesh. And through the discipline of the Almighty Father, we learn to bring our mind, our brains into subjection to the inward man, the guidance, the instruction from the Almighty One, Yahuwah. Shaul, Paul, gives us an example of the battle he faces within. Or should I say he faced within. He makes clear there is an inward man and an outward man. What does this have to do with anything, my brothers and sisters? We face battles. And I submit to you, sometimes the battle we face is due to actors, distractors. Take a look at Galatians 5th chapter, 5:16 through 18. It says this, and I say, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not accomplish the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are opposed to each other, so that you do not do what you desire to do. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under Torah. You are not under just plain instructions. It's not talking about the Torah. When they say if you're led by the Spirit, you're not under Torah. You're not under the instructions of the mind, the brain, but the guidance of the Almighty Father. It say, in the works of the flesh are well known, which are these: adultery, whoring, uncleanness, indecency, idolatry, drugs, sorcery, hatred, quarrels, jealousy, jealousies, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissension, and factions. Yasharal, oh Yasharal, actors bring so many different personalities and behaviors because in their heart they are ravenous wolves. Envy, murders, drunkenness, wild parties, and the like, of which I forewarned you. Even as I also said before, that those who practice such as these shall not inherit the reign of the Almighty One. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, trustworthiness. Yasharal, oh Yasharal, when we seek to pray and discern while we fellowshipping with one another, it is the Almighty Father that will uncover things. Things can be exposed by just watching a person or listening to a person. Things can be exposed by asking questions and more questions and even more questions. Galatians 5:23 talks about gentleness, self-control. Against such, there is no Torah. Let me continue. Verse 5:24 through 26. I'm still in Galatians. And those who are of Messiah have impelled the flesh with its passions and the desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, let us be able to identify those who walk in set-apartness, who sincerely desire to worship and obey the Almighty Father. Believe it or not, there are those who use scriptures to fabricate images and righteous teachings and unrighteous teaching practices. They use the scriptures to fabricate images and unrighteous teaching practices. They'll tell you it's okay to put Yahuah or Yahusha or Menorah's name embroidered on a garment and wear it, when it's clearly a violation of one of the commandments. They'll use the scriptures and tell you that they speak in the original language when they are not. It's okay to study historical languages, but to believe that the original language is made known to us right now is wrong and wicked. To lead people to think that you're teaching them Hebrew when modern Hebrew is Aramaic. Some are teaching Yiddish and saying that's the original language. Believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, there are those who use the scriptures and they'll cherry pick scriptures and tell you, hey, it's okay to put Yahuwah's name on a garment or on a hat or on jewelry. They'll use scriptures to tell you it's okay to do these things. It's okay to learn Hebrew. They are actors, my brothers and sisters. Know that they are unlearned and undiscerning and will lead many astray. My brothers and sisters, by asking questions and more questions and even more questions, we possibly uncover what is hidden. We must not leave out being prayerful always. Come, let's consider some scriptures here. Matthew 7:15 says, but beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. Inwardly. How do we discover what's inwardly in a person? By asking questions, by weighing their actions or their performance to see if they are indeed demonstrating set-apartness or merely actors. Matthew 10:26 says, therefore do not fear them, for whatever is covered shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be made known. Trusting and believing the Almighty Father Yahuwah knows all and makes things known, works towards our growth and maturity. We can and will learn to beware of actors. Let me take you to something more on the matter of beware of actors. At least we find ourselves caught in the world of entertainment. Matthew 12:25 says this, and Yahusha knew their thoughts and said to them, every reign divided against itself is laid waste, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. You see, in a group of actors, there are compromises, there are divisions, there are different cliques in it for various reasons. But let us be mindful that Yahusha knew their thoughts. And I say to you, if he knew their thoughts and he knows their thoughts, keep in mind that the Spirit of Yahuwah sent in Yahusha's name, John 14:26, shares and make known to us the thoughts of others. Consider 2 Corinthians 6:16, my brothers and sisters. It says, and what union has the dwelling place of the Almighty One with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Almighty One, as the Almighty One has said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their Almighty One, and they shall be my people. Yahusha, we are equipped with so many tools. We have access to the Almighty Father through prayer and supplication, through worship and obedience. If Yahusha knew their thoughts in Matthew 12:25, keep in mind, he dwells within us. Will he not reveal what is needed? Let me add another critical component regarding actors. There are those who are deceiving many regarding the Hebrew language. I want you to begin to put that in check, my brothers and sisters. If they tell you the Hebrew language, ask the question, is that the original language? If they say yes, run. But in most cases, my brothers and sisters, they don't know any better. They just going by what the masses. See, since we have come into the truth, my brothers and sisters, there's an affinity or an attraction to learn as much of our culture as we can. And there are those who take a historical language and tell you that's the original language. It's not, my brothers and sisters. It's not. And let me ask you this, my brothers and sisters. When they start telling you they're teaching the original language or they know the original language, ask them when Yahuwah speaks to them, is he speaking to them in Hebrew? Is he speaking fluent Hebrew to them? And ask yourself, given all the conditions that are about to rise regarding the tribulation, regarding end times, will we really have time to be speaking a historical language to one another as movement intensifies? How are we spending our time, my brothers and sisters? Are we merely entertained by actors who would have us think they know Hebrew? There's much time wasted attempting to return to the pure language or clean lip as written in Zephaniah 3:9. Zephaniah 3:9 says, for then I shall turn unto the people a clean lip, so that they all call on the name of Yahuwah to serve him with one shoulder. Do we see that happening right now? No, my brothers and sisters. Read that whole chapter of Zephaniah, 3rd chapter. The time will come when Yahusha returns that we will speak with one lip. But it is not the lip that many lead people to think. The scriptures place emphasis on names. Bear with me, my brothers and sisters. I need to make a correction. And you might say, he don't know what he's talking about. Or those who claim to be teaching Hebrew. Those who claim to be teaching Hebrew will try to tell you he don't want to learn it. He don't know it. That's why he's talking about it. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, end times are here. It requires much from us. And nowhere in the scriptures does it say, seek to learn the original language. But there are writings that emphasize, have wisdom. There are writings that emphasize the need to walk in wisdom, to pray always. The scriptures place emphasis on names, but we were not directed to pursue the original language, but to expect it at the appointed time. There's nothing wrong with studying historical language, as I said, but it's deceiving to tell people it is the original language we once had. Yashral, these are mere actors reading the script, mimicking what they see others doing, feeding a fad, a style, a way of life that is wrong. Beware of actors. They have seduced many into believing they know the original language. They present what they think are Hebrew words and content only to take you back and forth between languages. They'll tell you this is what the Hebrew is, or this is what the Greek is. Some mix Greek with Hebrew, or what they believe is Hebrew. They go back and forth only to bring you back to the English. Do you believe as end times intensify, my brothers and sisters, that you would have acquired skills to tell someone, go get the car in Hebrew, or I'll meet you a mile down the road at the diner in Hebrew? Do you really believe as things intensify, we will be speaking fluent Hebrew to one another to fulfill the final Exodus? How much time are you spending with a group? Is it because we're learning Hebrew or because you believe you are? Beware of actors, my brothers and sisters. Such have taken the time from many. Such has developed behaviors, cliques, groups. But judgment is coming. The next time someone claims to know the original language, ask them. Ask them, does the Almighty Yahuah or his spirit, his Ruach, speak in Hebrew? Ask, do he speak to them in Hebrew? Ask them, where are they getting their definition? Who's teaching them? My brothers and sisters, I guarantee that if one is misleading people by claiming to know the original language, he or she is probably one who dresses the part as well. In other words, they are often wearing garments with specific images and embroidered representation of Yahuwah's name or Yahusha's name or a menorah to portray themselves as being more close to our Hebrew culture when they are demonstrating a lie. And you might say he's nitpicking. But in the days ahead, will you follow the actors, or will you seek to discern what the Almighty Father is saying to you? Yasharal. Lastly, there are many actors violating a specific commandment. And I mentioned it earlier, but let me show you. Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. Exodus 20, verse 4 says, you do not make yourself a carved image or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters underneath. One would say he's misinterpreting that. My brothers and sisters, he goes on to say in the 5th verse, you do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuah, your Almighty One, am a jealous all, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands to those who love me and guard my commandments. My brothers and sisters, the Almighty Father Yahuah, through his Spirit, sent in Yahusha's name, and referencing John 14:26, will teach us and guide us and work in us, through us, one towards another. Let us be mindful of his presence and yield to his discipline and corrections. For in times I hear, great corrections are coming, changes are coming. Exposing and uncovering the actors will occur. Rise up, my brothers and sisters. Beware of actors. It's a necessary action. Pray and seek to discern and understand what must and will be done regarding actors, my brothers and sisters. Seek for what is real, what is true. Let us ask questions and witness the power and might of Yahuwah's discipline work in us, through us, one towards another. Yahusha, my brothers and sisters, I want to invite you to have discussions with one another and ask yourselves, who do you think are mere actors? When they pray, they want to pray for show, or the garments that they may be wearing may be overstating and illuminating what they claim to believe, but yet they violate a commandment. My brothers and sisters, actors, those who love the pulpits, those who love being flashy, those who promote encouragement to others who are flashy and ignore the poor, actors who want to be special. Pray and watch, O Yahusha, for as discipline comes, we will see changes among those who sincerely seek to follow, worship, and obey the Almighty Father. Seek to discern him working in us, through us, one towards another. On that note, my brothers and sisters, beware. And if you're an actor, it's time to get your actions in check and take this walk sincerely. On that note, I thank you. I pray that you're okay. I really pray more than anything that we grow to discern the living voice of the Almighty Yahuah, which comes to us, who comes to us in Yahusha's name. Yahusha's name represents the word that was manifest before us. Yahusha represents the name of Yahuwah's Spirit sent before us. Understand, my brothers and sisters, understanding comes from the Almighty Father, and we will see improvements in the days ahead. On that note, lift your head up and believe that the Almighty Father will indeed make things straight. Take care, my brother, my sister, my family. Shalum.